Hi, welcome back to a little bit of Common Crazy. My name is Jennifer and today I am so excited to bring you another Dollar Tree DIY. If you don't know it, I am obsessed with these little vintage trucks and I was so excited to see that Dollar Tree got them in and immediately knew what I wanted to do with it. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. I hope you will take a moment and introduce yourself in the comments below. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button already and you enjoy Dollar Tree DIYs, budget decor, and all of that, I would love it if you would hit that button and become a part of this DIY family. If you don't know it, you can find me on Instagram. It is a little bit of Common Crazy over there, just like it is here. And let's get into today's project. Wow, that was really fast, so let's slow it down. I have this truck from Dollar Tree as well as Waverly's chalk paint in crystal, ink, and silver lining. To start off with, I'm first going to remove the Christmas tree as careful as I can. I don't want to damage it so that I can use it later on, either for this truck specifically or even in another project if I choose to. And I'm taking the color crystal. If you can tell, it does have a slight blue to it. It's kind of a bit of a blue-gray, and I'm painting the entire base or the main frame of the truck in this color. It does take a couple of coats because this is kind of a yellow wood and I really want to cover up the yellow completely and have the blue show through, and it was a little bit of work to do that. So I'm being a little bit traditional. I'm painting my tires black using Waverly's chalk paint and ink. Because it is so dark and chalk paint is a little bit thicker, it only did take one coat to completely cover them up. Using silver lining, I painted both of the wheel covers. Now, this did take me 2 coats, again, because it is a lighter color. You would think that silver lining would be kind of a shinier color, but remember, this is a chalk paint, and all chalk paints are matte, so it is not shiny. It is still a matte color. I went in again with ink and I did the door handle and then back in with silver lining to do, okay, I think this is meant to be the light, but I didn't want to add like a red or something bright here because I think it would distract from it. I'm using silver lining and pretending that it is one of those metal light covers. I think that is a thing. Here I decided to add a little bit of Waverly's chalk paint and white into the mix. So I am using it and I'm going around the window just to kind of lighten it up a little bit. But now I'm also going to add some definition to my tires. So this is one of those little round sponges. I picked this up at Walmart, and I'm just first placing it in the center. You see that I press down and then I swirl. I'll show you here on the other side. I do it again. I find my spot, I press down, and then I swirl in order to get my round circle because I am never going to paint a circle in my life. And while that is drying, I'm adding in just some little white reflective elements, giving the truck a little bit more detail using just a small brush in order to do that. Just going around areas where the light potentially might hit it. I'm not an artist. I'm just guessing and just trying to give it a little bit of detail. So I'm keeping the white reflective light, if you want to call it, on the higher points. I am going to go back in with sandpaper in just a little bit to smooth out any areas where I get a little too heavy-handed. Once I finish that, now it is time to go back in and work more on my tire. So I attempted to use the crystal in the center of the tire, but it was too light. So now I mixed the crystal with a little bit of black, and that is what I am using in the center of the tire with a smaller one of those round sponges. I will make sure that I have this all listed in the description below with a whole supply list if you are ever wondering. So here you see that I am using some Popsicle Sticks, and then I am trimming them down. I tried to just cut them straight with scissors. It was too hard, so I am using my box cutter in order to score them first, and I'm measuring them out. This is 1 1/4 inches in length. I'm showing you that here so that you will know how tall I'm making my little, you guys, I don't even know what this is called. Somebody help me out. If you know what you would call this part of the truck, let me know. So once I had 5 popsicle sticks cut to 1 1/4 inches and then 1 long popsicle stick, I went in with some wood glue. I used the truck to help me line them up straight, and then I laid the longer popsicle stick across the top. And then I just let that set up and dry. And then I went in with some WAVERLY's Wax and Antique. And I love to use this almost like a stain, like I just brush it on and then I go back in with a paper towel and I wipe off any of the extra, and it really helps it dry super fast. I get asked all the time if you can use regular paint. Absolutely. If you have another brown that you like instead, go for it. Use whatever you want. I just really love this color. It is just one of my favorites. As you can see, I went in with some more wood glue and just attached it to the truck. There are a couple things that I will do in the end that I wish I would have done sooner, but I'll show you those in just a little bit. So I am choosing to use a sign from summer that I still have on hand. I'm going ahead and removing all the glitter, and as you can see, there is a lot of glitter, and I'm filling in the holes with some wood filler. Now, you don't need to use this sign. You can use the fall signs that are currently in store, the square ones. Those would work perfectly. I've already measured them out. They work with my printable. As you can see here, once the wood filler is dried, I'm going ahead and I'm sanding it flush with the sign and doing any other sanding that I need to do to make things smooth. I did remove the stickers off the back, and now I'm going in with WAVERLY's white and just painting and covering up the entire sign in this. I'm one of those that likes to cover up everything. I cover up the front, the back. I like a sign to look completed, just so you know. Now, I'm not too concerned with some of the sign poking through. It gives it a little bit of that distressed look, which works perfectly for me. So here you see that I am using a small brush, and this is the color ink. And I am using, this is actually a paint stick because the sign is a little bit larger that my ruler wasn't going to work. And I am drawing lines to make it look like shiplap. Once I have finished a line, I just roll my ruler over twice to get my next line because I wanted really actually wide lines. So a little bit of a broader shiplap than what you're used to, I guess. More traditional, maybe something you would see more on an actual wall. And I know that I'm leaving some of the black behind, and I was totally okay with that. So once I was done, I actually went in with my paintbrush without adding any extra black, and I'm adding that in. Just again, I'm going in with a little bit more of that distressed look. That's what I wanted. And once it dried, I went in with my 220 sandpaper, and I'm sanding and smoothing and just trying to lighten up a little bit of that black so that it blends in just a tiny bit better. If you don't like this look and you want it to be a little bit smoother, you could have used a Sharpie instead. I also used the 220 sandpaper and I sanded the truck. To be honest, I don't know if it did much of anything except for on the tires, and I don't know if I really love it, but I did it anyway. So here is the printable that I have for you, and you will find a link in the description box with the supply list. I know it's really simple, but sometimes you don't want to go and create your own. So in order to transfer this onto my board, I just took a pencil onto the back and I'm just scribbling where the words are in order to create a transfer. I am sure many of you have seen this, but just in case, I always do like to show it because sometimes people come along that have never seen this before. So once I have it placed down, in order to keep it from moving, I do like to go in with a little bit of like a washi tape, or you can even use like a painter's tape, something that won't rip the paint off of your board. And then I go in with my pencil and then I just trace over my letters. Some of my letters I might trace in completely, or some parts of my letters I might trace in completely, and other parts I will just do the outline. I don't spend the entire time completely tracing the letters. Once I have completely gone over every letter and transfer them onto the board, I remove the paper, and here you can see what the transfer looks like. It's just a really light pencil left on here, and it is perfect now for me to use a Sharpie this time. I have tried it with paint pens and like a paintbrush. I can't do it. I have to use a Sharpie. I am not that neat. It is so much easier for me to use a Sharpie. If you can paint with a paint pen and not like have like little globs or even a paintbrush, bless your heart, you are my hero. Of course, I continue to trace over the rest of Pick Your Own with a Sharpie, but I did not want to bore you with that. So let me go ahead and show you what I did do next. So using a little bit of Mod Podge, I'm adding it onto the little bitty printable that says Family Farm. You can see that I cut that out, leaving just a little bit of white halo around it. I did not put Mod Podge on top, and I can't decide if I want to or not. And now you see that I am going back in with some sandpaper and going over Pick Your Own. I think that it looks so good distressed. I'm so glad that I took the time to do that. It made all the difference. I didn't want my truck to be a one-trick pony. I wanted to make this like a little basket in the back. So I'm taking another popsicle stick here and using some hot glue in order to just lay the popsicle stick down and create like a shelf. Now these tumbling tower pieces from Dollar Tree are perfect in order to create the lift to match that popsicle stick. These are always great to have on hand for crafts, and you do find them in like the little game section at Dollar Tree. Now this is where I wish I would have added on to the little cage basket onto the truck bed before, but I didn't. But I realized that I needed to close off the basket onto my truck bed, so I had to go in and do it now. So here you see that I went ahead and I took a smaller piece, and I'm using some wood glue. I did try hot glue. It did not work on this piece, so I had to use wood glue and let that set up. And then I took another popsicle stick and I did the same thing behind the bed, and this time I could use some wood or some hot glue, which was so much easier. And I slid that right in, and that created a complete basket so things would not move and slide around. So here you see a couple of those pumpkin stickers. Oh, I love these, from Dollar Tree. And I just hot glued those together so they would stay exactly the way I wanted them. But they were too thin for the basket, so to bulk them up a little bit, again, I took a popsicle stick and cut it in half. Hot glued the two pieces together and then hot glued them onto the back of the pumpkins, and they fit perfectly that way. I cannot wait to use this truck for different holidays. Look how cute it looks with its original Christmas tree, and also in the springtime, being able to put some flowers in it. There are so many different things I can do with this. I would love to know your thoughts on it. As always, would this be something that you would recreate? If you are on Instagram and you do recreate it, I would love it if you would tag me so that I can see your recreation. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!